Facebook, how you doing? What's going on, Facebook? Guess what? This is your favorite Ruby girl, Dr. K, also known as Coach K. Tonight, we have a very exciting guest. As always, as you know, I always deliver. I don't be playing with y'all. I don't have y'all doing clickbait. Just be for real, y'all. So tonight we have Michelle McKenney. She's been on the show before, but she's solo. She's solo tonight. She has a very intriguing and a story that will increase your faith, a story that will stop all that complaining, that whining that we have been doing, and understand the grace of God, and understand, and we get to see a real life picture of someone that's walking under God's grace and their mercy and their healing power. So, hello, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, ma'am? Nice to see you this evening.
I know you looking great, and you know, of course, I love them glasses because they look like some Ruby girl glasses.
Thank you. You look gorgeous as
Well,
ever.
thank you, child. I'm trying. So, what I want you to do is go on my page, if you can, and find this video, or else I can go on my page and I'll find it for you and I'll share it with your friends. Is it easier for me to share it with your friends?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go on my page. I do this for free only for certain people. Let me see here. Um, share to a feed. Here we go. Put you in here. Before we even get started, we're gonna get her set up right so her people can also see the video. All right, there we go. All right,
Thank you.
Michelle. So, what I'm going to do is just give a quick introduction of my business. So, once again, I am Karen Dye. I am the CEO of His Designs LLC, but also the creator of the Proverbs 31 and 10 brand, which is Ruby Girl. Ruby Girl, it connects you with the tribe, with the right vibe, which is creatively bringing Christ to the nation. So, my platform give people an opportunity to tell their stories, to share their business, and to also to be empowered. And also, I always want to remind women, let that Proverbs 31 and 10 plus woman be your mentor. Don't let her be your example, meaning you have to do exactly how she can because you get overwhelmed looking at all the things she do. That was for her to do. Think about and focus on what God has you to do and just do it. She proved to us that she could take care of her role, that she could walk up right before God, and she was influenced. She influenced her husband, her household, her servants, and everything. So read the Proverbs 31 woman. Read about her, and you'll find yourself somewhere in those pages. She's not named because you just have to insert your name in there. So let's get started on the show. And we're going to start with Michelle, just giving us a quick introduction of who she is and also include your website. So we'll have that in the beginning.
Okay, so like Miss Karen said, of course, my name is Michelle McKenney. I am a 29-year veteran of the United States Army. I am married. I have two dogs. I am the CEO of and co-owner of Ugly Essentials, which stands for You Gotta Love Yourself. Our website is www.uglyessentialsonline.com. And I'm also a bestseller author. Our website is IamMichelleMcKinney.com.
Great, great,
And
great.
I am just honored to be here with you this evening. I really am.
I'm glad that you are with me because your story, when you begin to tell me your story, I was like, oh, wow. And I have been more conscious of my thoughts when I start to what they say self pity myself or start to be like, well, whine about whatever. And I said, wait a minute, life is a blessing. We have to look and focus on the blessings and find it in life. But a lot of times I think we're just geared to look for negative things. So we that bad customer. God looks at us and said, oh, here she comes. She gonna complain about the service I given her. Because even when we complain about the weather, I read about that. We're telling God, God, I don't like what you're doing and I can do it better. And I had read
Mhm.
that in one of my books and I was like, oh, wow, I'm not a good customer when it comes to God. But tonight we want to talk about Michelle's journey, her books. We want to talk about everything about Michelle because I really want you to know who this phenomenal woman is. She is out here impacting lives and she is leaving a legacy that's going to be here in the earth forever. So, Michelle, we know that you are a speaker
Yes,
and
ma'am.
a three time, not one time, three-time, one for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Ghost, best-selling author. Can you tell us about your books that you have co-authored?
Yes, ma'am. So my first book that I co-authored with our facilitator, and she co-authored as well, Dr. Nessa Short, was Becoming a Shero. And basically that was a group of us military vets throughout all the armed forces. And we spoke inspirations, how we got through things, how did we get through things, um, and why. So every vet had, or every young woman had a chapter in the book. That was our first bestseller as well. So my chapter in there, I'll just talk a little bit about it. So if you want to hear more about it, you got to go read the book, got to go purchase the book. Um, my journey with breast cancer, because initially I was misdiagnosed. I was still active duty in the Army. And I was TDY a lot. I was in a very high demanding position right here on Fort Liberty now, back then Fort Bragg. Um, Jumping out of airplanes, doing all that good stuff. So it was an eye opener, especially after being said you're good to go. And then you get a call back a week later, being in between traveling, the East Coast. Hey, I need you to come in. Um, Basically, they told you something different, and now you have breast cancer. Which some other things happened that day medically as well that made it even more of an impact that day. So it was, I got through it, of course. So there was some times that I couldn't. There were some hard times, some good times, but just trying to find my motivation, all that kind of good stuff. So it was interesting. People that know me know I like to I like to joke, um, and still remain positive. Because we have to we still got to do things, and God will want us to still persevere. So that was mainly the gist of it. Our second literary book was Joy 365, which means actually 300, we had 365 authors in that book. And it's a devotional to include people that are grieving, have any type of sense of loss in their family or a loved one. So basically what every author had was a day, a page that whatever they want to send out to their voice of how they get through things and how God speaks to them. To include, we have a journal with that as well. So that one as well made actually international bestseller. So that was a great project. It was awesome to be my second literary project and be with that many authors and that many minds, from a little person like me who just started their literary journey, writing journey, to people have been writing for 30, 40 years. So there was so much knowledge that was on that project that I've learned and just try to apply every day in my life. Our last one, Reach, Teach, and Lead, is actually my favorite. Um, Facilitated as well. Actually, yes, I love it, love it, love it. Um, Dr. Anessa Shorts, our facilitator, we had some great uh, co-authors with me. That was all about the experience of mentorship and what mentorship means to people. And what we wanted to show was different aspects of mentorship. So there will be stories in there for visions, aspects of through a mentor, vision or a mentee, or even to people how they view mentorship and how it coincides with leadership. And then we can even put in there a little spill of what God thinks of in leadership. So it was very fulfilling, being that I am a mentor and I'm a mentee. So seeing it from different spectrums made it even more enlightening.
It sounds like you had a great experience with doing all three
Mhm,
anthologies.
mhm.
Your second one, what was her name? Dr.
Dr.
Vanessa.
Vanessa Blackwell,
Okay, Dr.
such a
Vanessa Black.
beautiful, beautiful spirit, beautiful spirit, beautiful
She
spirit. Has
is. And I was telling you how I had met her. Remember, I told you I met her at
yes.
my school graduation and she got the award
Mhm,
for the anthology of the year. And it was awesome. Can y'all imagine out there 365 people that you dealing with to write a book? That takes a lot of patience.
yes, ma'am.
Woo, that
Yes,
takes a
ma'am.
lot of planning. That was a
Yes,
big
ma'am.
vision. When I met her, I think she had 280. And she said,
Mhm,
I'm not going to stop till I got my 365. I
mhm,
probably would have been like, well, we going to do 280 days and y'all might have to double up on some days or something.
mhm.
But she followed the vision all the way through. And do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know how phenomenal that is that you are a part of something that that massive?
I'm
Something
grateful.
I can't
Grateful.
even
Totally
think of
grateful.
anybody else right offhand that did it. And an African American in our community too. That is history. I look, we need to call the Guinness Book of World Record because I think that's a world record. Some kind of record was created with y'all creating that book. So three-time best-selling author, speaker. Let's talk about your speaking. When you speak, how do you like to impact your audience? What do you know, like a lot of us have a signature story. You know, I usually talk about, my childhood, the abuse that I went through, how I overcame it. What's like your signature speech, you would say?
Resilience,
Mm,
self-love, empowerment, mental health,
mm,
and and just how we need all of that and God to be in a healthy state and to be our best version of ourselves. And sometimes society doesn't normalize that enough, right? We normalize crazy stuff
mm.
and we think that's appropriate or we think that's right, but it just goes back down to we loving on each other and treating each other like we should and in God's eyes. Just like ugly, you got to love yourself. You have to love yourself in order for you to love somebody else.
That's true.
So we just really need, it's basic. We just sometimes have to go back to the basics and just make it simple.
I like the words that you use. You say resilience, you say mental health, and what was the other one?
Self
Resi
love,
resilience, um, self-love, and mental health.
empowerment,
And
and empowerment.
empowerment. That's it, empowerment. Those are some things that we came up out of the pandemic holding on to those words because we had to be resilient because you had to bounce back because you went from people telling you people were bad, people will make you sick, people will basically kill you by you being around them. You had to come out and we had to get past that fear because I remember we went back to work and we wore
Mhm,
bands that says
mhm,
different colors like you can come near me, you can stay far
mhm,
away and stuff like that. And so for the longest I wore the one like stay
mhm,
far away from me. But now I'm more comfortable out among people, but we had to
mhm,
bounce back from the stuff that we went through, just like you had to bounce back from everything that you've been going through. It's like you
mhm,
either break or you bend. With Christ, you
Mhm.
bend, you don't break. You have that Holy Ghost flex with Christ, meaning that the
Mhm.
Holy Ghost, whatever's supposed to break you, the Holy Ghost is like, hey, you can handle this because I got it. He's
Mhm.
like your big brother. He steps in front of
That's
you and
right.
be like, I got this fight. You just step back and you just have the faith. Oh, where did
Mhm.
that's good. I got to speak
And
on Saturday. I'm gonna
and
have to write
and
that down.
and one more,
Yes.
adaptability, change.
Yes, we had to adapt to the changes because the
Mhm.
the world is not the same. Before
Mhm.
the pre-pandemic, we hugged freely, we was around people, we wasn't sanitizing and washing it. We wasn't so scared, I would say, of other people germs as we are now, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
And so things we had to adapt to the new after
Mhm.
post after
Mhm.
pandemic. And so I
Mhm.
think we're adapting well, but we came
Uh-huh.
out, a lot of people came out with mental illness or their
Mhm.
mental state has changed. And
Mhm.
people might say, oh, I'm fine or whatever. But most people know somebody that died in the pandemic or they lost
That's right.
somebody. We went through trauma. That was trauma for everyone. And
Everybody.
what
Yes,
happens
ma'am.
with trauma? It gets you stuck, you get
Mhm.
stuck. But those are some great words. Those are very impactful, especially when you speak into a crowd. Who can't pull something out of that? Who doesn't want to be empowered? Who doesn't want to be resilient? Who doesn't
Mhm.
want to adapt to everything that's around them? So that's great. Anything you want to say, Michelle?
No, I just I feel like if we be truthful,
Mhm.
um, and talk to one another, um, things can always be better, you know, and it won't be so chaotic in life because I think sometimes in life we make our own chaos because we're always in a hustle and bustle. But if we just sit and take a pause a moment and just listen, either before we speak or so we can listen to hear other people are talking or whatever, you'll get the word. So it will be there to be come out in the right way. Because sometimes I think what COVID also made us do too, be just very, very antisociable. And sometimes we just don't know how to talk to people. So we got to do better. And I think just being truthful, but also with a loving spirit, we can get there. But you got to do that with change and acceptance and willingness as well. So,
That's very good. The world is missing a lot of love and a lot of people stopping and thinking. I think
mhm,
people go with their first reaction, their first emotion,
mhm,
without stopping and saying, if I do this, what will happen?
mhm.
Like my friend told me one time, she said, it's so easy to get in trouble, but it's so hard to get out of it. And I
That's
think if
right.
more people have that mindset of, if I do this, the trouble I get in is going to be much harder than me stopping thinking, trying to diffuse the situation. But we always feel like we have to react to something. I'm learning, even through the inside of me, be like, say this, say that, just tell her this and that. I said, stop. Look at this whole picture. Are you processing what she said through your trauma, through your hurt, through your own bias? Or did he or she really say this? And if they did, how you going to handle this with peace? So I agree with you 100%. We need to stop, we need to think, and we need to be more careful about what we say and how we say it to people. Sometimes we so defensive and we don't even know it, you know,
Yeah.
because somebody touched something that wasn't healed in us. So it's a lot of people walking around that's not healed and they need Jesus and they need more love.
Mhm. And it's
Okay, so
okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
it's okay. So we're going to take a 1 minute break. So in this 1 minute break, I'm going to go out there and see if people share the video. So if you haven't shared the video, I'm like a teacher. You got time to get it right. So
Okay.
go find that share button, y'all, and share it. And so for 1 minute, Michelle is going to talk while I go out there and look online. See if y'all had any questions. See if y'all had any comments or anything. Michelle, you ready for your 1 minute spotlight?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
do that.
all
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Yes,
Go right
ma'am.
ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, so would like to give y'all some updates and some news that is going on with Ugly. We are getting ready to debut a new product in the summer. It's another product to the Stellar hairline to include. I hope everyone is enjoying the monthly blogs that we have on the website. You're more than welcome to leave a review and feedback. Please give us any feedback, especially on any of our products that you use. You can hit us up on our Instagram or our TikTok, any one of our social platforms. Please, we'd love to hear our feedback. Uh, Also, I get a lot of questions about our hair care with sister locks and dreads. Yes, our you can use our products on sister locks and dreadlocks. So there is also we are in the process of working on some great things for next year. Uh, that will be a little snippet surprise. But more details, subscribe to our newsletters. It will be in there. And that's it. I hope everybody's enjoying their evening.
Give them your website again.
Okay, so it's www.uglyessentialsonline.com. And my author website is www.iammichellemckinney.com.
Okay, great. Thank you for that 1 minute. I went out there, I shared our video. I didn't see any comments, but I do see
Good.
people out there, they are talking, so they are really listening to what we got to say. So this is the second part of the show. So we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So I know y'all keep hearing the word ugly. And y'all might be like, what is ugly? Why does she keep saying ugly? So we're going to talk about, a little bit more about what ugly essentials is, and even when she had first told me, I had to think for a minute because, it's so much negativity connected to that word. But she has taken that word and made it positive and used it to redefine what we say beauty is. And it's time for beauty to be redefined the right
Mhm,
way, not the
mhm.
world's way, but the
That's
right
right.
way. Because God said He gives us beauty for ashes. And in ashes, there's nothing. There's nothing but just ashes. You can't do anything with ashes. But God shows us that His standards of beauty is different from the world. So we're going to talk about some of your life challenges and how you're good at turning life lemons into lemonade. What they say, when life give you lemons, you make lemonades. But you done made a pie. You done turned it into fashion. You done turned it into beauty. And so we want to talk about how you've had cancer 3 times. Not once, but 3 times. So tell us about it.
So, um, it was a journey. All times has been in the Army as an active duty soldier.
Mm.
Um, um, I taught me a lot about myself. Um, I knew about cancer. My mother died of pancreatic cancer, like I told you. Or did I tell you that? I think I told you that. I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
You did.
But yeah, so it was something. But it was in '08 and it was difficult. It was difficult. Treatments were difficult. Uh, but I got through it. Um, Moved on. Wasn't so bad. My hair didn't like come out. I was just sick a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so it thinned out a lot. I did get really sick, but you just have to persevere, you know. Um, I was single at the time, So, it's just different. It's very different. Uh, but, my mother was a very resilient woman. She was a West Indian Jamaican woman. So, and she was a registered nurse. So, seeing her, how she was, and then seeing her go through her illness, it was just motivation. So, I mean, she'd be sick in her own illness in the hospital, and she's teaching nurses what to do. So, you kind of do the same thing like your mom. I did anyway. And then the Army gives us a lot of skills, coping skills, attributes to be resilient. So it was hard, but I got through it. Um, then in 2015, that's when I was misdiagnosed with ductal carcinoma. So we went through radiation every day. So I'd come to work, then I'd get off around 11:30. Then I go to treatment, and then I go get some eat, and then I go home. So did that for about 9 months. In between there, then I started chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 3 times a week on top of that. And then I just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I go in for about a couple hours at work, then I go into treatment. Um, so at the time, my coping mechanism is to work. So I just did work. At the time, too, I was in my sorority. I was the chapter president. I just stayed busy.
Mm-hmm.
Coping mechanisms. So it was challenging, but I think what made it even more challenging was at the same time I started having eye issues. So I had got after we got through the gnosis, then I started having issues in my left eye. Then I had a cataract that went full blown in 10 days. So we dealt with that, but then we had issues with the lens that went in there. We had to take that out. It was crazy. So then when we finished that, probably 30 days later, then I had a really, really bad retina detachment that they said I would not see again in midst of all of this with treatment. So that kind of made it even more challenging. But I had a support system. So that was good. That was awesome. I'm thankful to this day now for those that were there to support me. I could not have gotten through it. Um, so we went through that. And then in 2016, I had to have a major surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that took me almost out. So that recovery on top of treatment was a lot. Um, then we got better. And then I had my birthday. I got a little bit better. Um, we're into 17, and
Mm-hmm.
then we found it in the right breast.
So the first time it was in, where was it at the first
In
time?
the left. It was in the
Okay.
left.
It was in the
Yeah.
left. Then your
Hmm.
second time, they
In the
found it
right.
in right.
Hmm. So we went through the
Right.
whole rigmarole then. I didn't do radiation. I just stayed. By that time, I was on a pill. So I just stayed doing treatment by that time on a pill. So probably about 6 months after that, then we started having the eye issues on the right eye
Mm-hmm.
and went through the same thing we went through the left eye with the right eye. So it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the hardest thing besides going through my mother's death, her sickness.
Was this
Yeah.
like right after your mom passed?
No, my
Or was
mom
some
has
years?
been gone now since almost 22 years, since
Okay.
2002. So luckily she's here, but she physically was not here. So yeah, she was not here at all
Okay.
for all of that. Yeah.
So what happened? So you had cancer in your left breast. Got that treated. So you were done with treatment with cancer in your left breast, and then you found out you
Yeah.
had cancer in your right breast. And so
Hmm.
you're done. You're thinking you're fine. You're like, okay, Lord, whew,
Hmm.
I done been through not a test, but I've been through a
Hmm.
exam, and so now I'm
Hmm.
good. And then you find out what?
Hmm. It's on the right one. So we go through this all over, like almost like Groundhog Day.
Yep. So you it was in the left, it's in the right, but
Hmm.
then after both of those were healed, then what was next?
All my forever friends that I have now, my ailments
Yeah.
that we have to deal with as survivors
Mm-hmm.
with whatever those ailments are. So I have lymphedema,
Mm-hmm.
and then other stuff that I deal with on a daily basis. And then now recently, my new friend is my glaucoma.
Mm. So when did you find out the third time that you had cancer?
2017.
Mm-hmm. And that was how many years after you had got over cancer in your right breast?
No, no. My left breast was 2015. The
Okay,
right
20.
breast was 2017. So it
Uh-huh.
wasn't even not even 2 years.
Okay.
Not even 2 years.
And where was this cancer at the
Um,
third time?
both. No, the third time it was still breast cancer.
Oh,
So I,
so
yeah.
so you had breast cancer in your left and your right, and then it came back again?
No, no, I had ovarian first. Then I
Okay,
had breast.
ovarian.
Yeah, ovarian first, then breast, and breast twice.
Okay, that's the part we missing. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yes,
you
yes.
first had ovarian cancer. Then
Hmm.
you found out that you had cancer in your left breast and cancer in your right breast.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, now we got it. We got
Yes,
the three.
ma'am.
That's
Yeah.
that's a lot. And you went through chemo each time.
Hmm.
I know chemo
Yeah.
is hard.
It
I've heard.
is. It
And to
is.
go
It
through it
is.
3 times, that is a lot.
It
So,
is.
how did you find out you had breast cancer? Was you examining and you found it yourself or?
No, they found it on my mammogram.
Mm,
So I did my mammogram, and because I do my monthly exams anyway.
uh-huh.
So I didn't see anything because usually for us Afro American women of color, they always say we have dense breasts. So I do.
Yes.
So it's hard to see that. So they actually caught it on the second mammogram when I had to come back because when they looked at the first one,
Mm-hmm.
when I came back, well, you actually get all your results in the mail and they'll call you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you go in, and they say they don't see anything. It's just this density breast. That's it. And then I came back from TDY, and then the breast clinic called me, and she's like, "Hey, are you here back in town?" I was like, "No, I'm getting ready to go. I'm going back to another place before I come back." And she said, "Hey, need you to come in." And I was like, "I've already done my mammogram. They said it's good." She's like, "Well, I need you to come and take another one, and we just need to be sure." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I
Mm,
came back and took another one, and yeah,
mm. Well, I'm
but
s-
plain as day.
I'm glad that you made it through and you
Oh.
just showed us and gave somebody an example that if they just found out they have cancer or they're going through cancer, that you went through it not once, twice, but three
Hmm.
times and you made it
Hmm.
through. So
Hmm.
we can speak about some more life lemons that you have. So we know in 2020, everybody know that the pandemic hit, people had to pivot, but what you did, you created ugly and it's a moment, let me see, ugly, a movement to redefine beauty. That's what it is. It's a movement to redefine beauty. Ugly stands for you gotta love yourself. Tell us how that got started. How did you take a word that people look at in such an ugly way and find that type of purpose for it?
So I do. I'm a mental health therapist,
Hmm.
and I do vision boards in my sessions with my clients. Um, so we were doing a vision board that day, and we were going over them at the end. And so she was showing me things on hers, I was showing things on mine. And when she had written ugly on the side, and I said, well, hey, what is that? And she said, well, you're always saying, we're talking about loving yourself, and you're always saying you always got to love yourself. And she just put that in an acronym. And I say it, we always talk about it, but I just didn't think about it. I was like, wait a minute, that's dope as an acronym. Oh, okay. And then coming on thinking about on the inception of our company, that when I was sick, or even then, or even after that, that my why, or our why, being my husband's why, I had no eyelashes. I my hair is thin. I couldn't find stuff for my face to clean my face, so everything would break my face out to wash it with. So I was blessed. Um, and I said, well, hey, maybe I'll make my own products. And that's how we came up with basically Ugly Essentials. And our first two products was body butter and hand sanitizer because we was in COVID.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing
Yeah.
how God lead us to our purpose. And it be so subtle. It's not like you like went in the closet, you laboring, you Lord, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. It's just subtle how he does it. It's almost like a quiet whisper or somebody does something and then it just click with you. So I want to
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about Ugly. So what are some of the products that you sell? Now listen, this will really impress me. You got a silk press product that you said will last for 6 to 8 weeks. Ladies, don't y'all love y'all silk press? 6 to 8 weeks?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's called Coil
Hmm.
Smoothing Treatment. And how any lady, you can use it even if you have relaxed hair, natural hair, straight hair, either way, virgin hair. Um, some silk presses usually have keratin in it. We put too much keratin in our hair, that's what elongates and takes our curl pattern out. So we wanted to do something that doesn't change your curl pattern, that you still wanted to have the versatility of changing. I want to have my hair straight one day, but maybe I want to still wear my curls on Wednesday. So you have that versatility, but you can still be a girly girl, but you can still be professional, you know, adaptability, so the 6 and 8 weeks come from with we use amino acids too. So when you put it on your hair, there's enough to elongate it and keeping it there long enough. You can wash your hair. Again, it's almost it's almost like a perm. That's what I said. So it's enough in there to last enough that you can wash your hair and keep the longevity. All now, of course, let me say this. If you, for example, if you don't like to flat iron your hair, right? Because some people don't like to put a lot of heat on their hair, even when they do a silk press. You can still use the product. Of course, a lot of my styles are actually is in wholesale. Um, but remember how we used to do back in the day. I don't know if anybody even remembers this. Your mama used to to try and straighten your hair, put saran wrap on your hair, or a cap. You can put a plastic cap on your hair and just sit under the hair dryer. And then when you wrap around your hair, it's heat activated. So once you either blow dry it out a little bit or put some heat to it, it's going to flatten your hair out anyway. So that's 6 to 8 weeks. Um, the frizz, it's less humidity. So again, those other extracts that we have in there that are all natural as well, that will help with the frizz and humidity. So, sometimes we get that big poof.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those other extracts in there will help eliminate that. So it can keep your silk press longer.
Okay. 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 What other products do you have?
So then we also have skincare. We have a facial system that has astringent, which just has hyaluronic acid in there, which pumps your skin up, makes you look plumper, brightens your skin. tightens it up, make sure we don't have these crow's here, crow's feet. And then we have a facial cleanser to include. It can be an exfoliator if you want to use it as well, but it's a foam. So it's soft enough to wash your face every day, but it's got enough in there so you can use it as an exfoliant too as well. Um, we have we have a body butter, we have a oatmeal and honey souffle lotion that is to die for. Um, we have natural soaps like our charcoal activated black soap. We have bath bombs, and I give out for all of our Midori fans that are with our tribe that are either favorite clients. We have all kinds of different giveaways, but for mostly our clients, we give out love tokens. So there's different other free products that we have that we don't sell that you will get as a client of Ugly Essentials. So you might end up getting a loofah sponge, which we have different various arrangements of smells and scents that has soap with a loofah on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we also have a whole men's care for beard collection and shave collection
Mm.
for our men.
Men?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Because they have to take care of their face too. So there's a face wash that they use for their beard and their face.
All right,
So
wives, y'all hear this? For
because
Father's Day.
sometimes we forget that we still have to wash our face. Even though we have facial hair, we still have to wash our face. So it's light and refreshing. Has a very nice light rosemary scent to it, fragrance to it. Includes a growth serum, an aftershave moisturizer, a beard oil that is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a great leave-in conditioner that you can use as a deep moisture conditioner or use it as a daily leave-in conditioner. We have a milk and honey shampoo, which is detangling. And like I said, we're working on something new that we're going to just launch in the summer.
Mm.
That will be part of the hairline. And we also have some selections of eyelashes.
Oh,
And that's about
ladies.
it.
I
Yes.
know
So we've
some ladies
grown.
perked up when you said
Yes.
eyelashes, because women love, they wear lashes, they love their lashes. Those are some very good products, and they're all natural products.
Mhm.
Did it take you a long time to come up with those different variety of products?
Yes, ma'am. I have a mentor who's also my consultant. So she's been with us since inception.
Hmm.
So we're all a team that we
Okay.
come up together and think about what about this? And of course, still doing research out there because you have to stay relevant, you
Hmm.
know. So we talk about that, trending things, because there's some other things that we're working on as well. And the skincare side that we're thinking about doing too as well. So, you know, I think that whatever is good that you can do for your body or for the community, what's the why? I always think about what is our why?
Hmm.
Um, and what can we offer to help our community? So that's what I try to do.
All right. So, believe it or not, it's time for our 2 minute closeout. This was a wonderful interview. Thank you for sharing your testimony about being a 3-time cancer conqueror, that you conquered it 3 times. And thank you also for sharing about that beauty line that you created. So as you do your 2 minute closeout, I want to go to your website so everybody can be looking at your website so they know you legit, girl. You just didn't make this up. So go ahead and do a 2 minute closeout.
So I would say that let's love one another, participate with change, don't react to it, pray to whatever being that you chose as your higher being, and always have a positive attitude, because if you don't, it will really cause you just not a good day. Like I think sometimes we have to really look at what we see. I had saw something on watching one of the pastors on YouTube the other day, talking about the images that we look at. And we have to really be cognizant about that. That it's almost like garbage in, garbage out. So we really have to pay attention to what we put in our mind, because the mind is a very powerful organ. And I say to my clients, um, if the mind can make the body think it's pregnant, we have to really be careful what we put our eyes and we listen to, so we don't have crazy things and vivid thoughts, because then we will speak that in existence, or we'll start displaying that. So just be careful what you feed your brain. That's it. And thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, you're
Thank you for
welcome.
listening.
Thank you for being a part of the Ruby Girl Talk Show. Just showing them what you have as far as the hair products now. It's a nice, real reasonable prices too. Very reasonable. So, look, I'm shopping. All right, I'm in the middle of the show, aren't I? No.
No,
No, a beautiful website, beautiful
thank
products.
you.
So I want to thank Michelle for being our guest tonight. And I just want us to walk away with appreciating life, appreciating every day that we have. Every day we take things for granted, like just being able to get up out your bed to walk into your living room. Some people have to help people help them get out of the bed. They have to lay there until somebody comes and help them. Our bodies is, as she said, we have to be careful what we put in our eye gate, our ear gate. We have to be very careful what we do. We think looking at different things, hearing different things doesn't affect us, but our subconscious mind is a sponge, and the way it processes things is different than what we think it will process. So just make sure you put in good, positive things, speak positive things into your life. I am well, I am healthy, I am whole, because your body does react to words. And as me and Michelle was talking yesterday, I told her, I said, get you some healing scriptures and read them out loud. I promise you, I have seen people from hearing scriptures read out loud being healed. Literally being healed, getting up out of the bed, never going back to the bed, a bed again, because it's something about how we speak. Just like God spoke the world into existence, He could have just formed it. He could have just clapped his hands, snapped his fingers, whatever, just thought it out. He's God. But instead, he spoke it. God was always teaching us, even when he shrunk himself in flesh and came down here. God was still teaching us, showing us things, how we have power too, where we need to tap in it through the Holy Spirit. So, all right, y'all, I want y'all to walk in the Spirit. I want y'all to speak positive things and don't claim anything. It's not yours. Let God have it. Let God heal you. And Michelle, we wish you healing. We speak wholeness into your life. We speak to everything that has tried to come up against you, that it will be powerless, that the blood of Jesus will cover you from head to toe. God has kept you here for a reason. God has pushed death back one, two, three times. Like, no, no, because He has a purpose for
Push
you.
up
And
three
you are out here fulfilling your purpose by writing your books, by starting your skincare. Don't you stop whatever else you have in your heart to do. Just do it, because God is placing it there so that you can get His purpose and plans in the earth. Those purposes and plans is what God has crafted just for you to bring in the earth. So I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that your life is still impacting others, that your space in the earth cannot be replaced by anybody else. And so you are a miracle, a walking miracle. God has touched you and He has showed us the healing power from heaven. So you keep spreading your testimony. You keep knowing that God is mindful of your situation. And God hasn't forgot about you. Nobody suffers in vain. God, Jesus went on the cross. Everybody, when he said it is finished, they thought he was saying it is finished, my ministry, my life. It was only the beginning. So this
Mhm.
is only the beginning for the things that you're going to do. So you dream big, my darling. You dream big. Nothing can stop you. Obstacles are not obstacles at all. They're ramps. They elevate you. They don't stop you. They don't block you. They elevate you. So for everybody out there, that's your word too. So all right, y'all, I'll be back next Tuesday. I'm always looking for guests. Don't be scared to come on the Ruby Girl Talk. You don't have to take out a loan to come on the Ruby Girl Talk. Just come on. I like sitting hearing about people and sharing their stories because you never know. Your story could have helped somebody that has cancer and they was thinking about taking their life. I can't make this. I can't handle this. But you showed them I didn't handle it once. I handled this 3 times. So like I
Mhm.
said, you're a walking testimony of God's healing. So everybody, good night. I'll see you Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place on my channel. So y'all have a great and fantastic evening.